Alright, nerds, welcome to this new Eaglercraft server tutorial. This is the second tutorial that I've made, for Eaglercraft servers. The reason I'm making this one is because after the first one, there was a lot of stuff I'm realizing that I left out and a lot of unanswered questions. Like, a lot of people are coming up to me with the same questions over and over and over again. A lot of them are using Windows, too, so I'm gonna try to correct that, with this tutorial and post it in the subreddit and whatnot. If you're following this, make sure to take this very slowly, otherwise you will get left behind in like 20 seconds. So take it slowly, don't be afraid to rewind. Make sure you have plenty of time, make sure you're not rushing it. And do not skip, because if you skip around, then you're just gonna get lost, because how this is arranged is that each sequential thing is built off of the concept before it. So if you skip, then you're just going to be missing tons of stuff that you will need to know. In terms of hardware at your house, you could run your server on. Something like an old laptop or a home server would be more than fine. I'm going to set up my servers in this tutorial to favor more old laptops, is that what most of y'all are going to be running, but if you're running a home server that's somewhat powerful, you can do more expensive settings. You can also host it on something like a VPS. You can buy like a VPS from VPS hosting company or like a commercial Minecraft server host. That is a bit more complicated. I will do a brief section on networking in that configuration at the end of the video. Whatever you choose, it needs to be able to run on its own 24/7, 365. So that means if you're running it from your house on an old laptop, this old laptop needs to be able to sit in your basement all the time, with no interruptions, with just a power cable and an Ethernet cable plugged into it. You won't want to use it for anything else. It just needs to sit there and run your server. That's it. We will be installing Linux in this, more specifically Debian Linux, in this tutorial. We will not be using Windows, and there will be absolutely zero Windows support. If you come crying to me with problems and you're using Windows, then I'm just gonna leave you in the dark and I'm gonna ghost you, because I'm not gonna give support to Windows users, because that's just a whole different rabbit hole I don't want to go down. Because we are using Linux and we're going to be using a very minimal install of Debian, you're going to need to figure out how to be comfortable in the terminal. Once you get to know the terminal, it's really not all that bad. But if you're a first-time terminal user, just take your time and you'll have it. Don't let it scare you. Okay, with that, let's go ahead and head into the main video. Alright, so now to installing Debian Linux. So you're going to want to open up a browser of your choice on a different computer. You're going to want to go to debian.org. So it's going to bring you to this page, or just want to click download, and it is going to download an .iso file. It may take a long time to download, so be patient. So now you are going to need a free USB memory stick. I think we all know what those are and what they look like. And you're going to want to plug it into the computer which you're downloading Debian on. Now you're going to want to open up another tab and search up Balena Etcher. And go here, hit download Etcher. You're going to want to download for your respective platform. Okay? Once this is finished downloading, of course I'm on Linux, so I'm going to manually run it. It's going to open up this for you. Then you're going to click Flash from File, open your file, select Target. You're going to want to put that to your USB stick, and then click Flash. It might take a while to flash your ISO to it, but once it's done, you'll probably get 1,000 warnings on your computer, especially if you're using Windows, that you need to partition the drive to use it. Ignore that, and just eject and take out your USB stick. So, now I'm not going to go over how to do this, as this is highly specific to every computer, but you're going to want to, well, this is if you're on like a old laptop or at home. you're going to want to turn off that computer, and you're going to want to boot into the BIOS. There are different guides for every model pretty much in existence. And then once you're in the BIOS, you're going to want to change your boot order so that the USB drive is at the top of the boot order. And then you will boot into the live installer, which I will be covering here in a second. Alright, so if you did this all correctly, you're gonna boot into a screen like this. I'm running this in a VM just so I don't have to do this on a laptop myself. You're just going to use your arrow keys, and you're going to want to choose graphical install. And give it a minute. And it'll boot up. So you're going to want to choose your language, do the necessary stuff. United States. Okay, so your host name, this is what's gonna show up all over the place. Basically the name of your computer. So I'm gonna set this to Eagler server tutorial. But you can really just set this to anything, but it's gonna show up in all your terminal commands. I mean, you can change it afterwards, but just make sure to put it to something relevant. Domain name. I think you can skip that. So, root is the system user, okay? You don't want anybody getting access to your root account, and you want to use it wisely, okay? So make sure you choose a good password that's long and isn't just like something really simple that can be brute forced in like 5 seconds. So I'm gonna type in the password I want. And then go down. Ah, crap. Okay. Hit continue. Full name. You can, I recommend putting this as like the name of your server. So you have the root account, which you should never log into except it first, and you'll have another user for like your server. So put this for your name of your server. So I'll just do like tutorial. Same thing. You can do the same password or do a different password. I don't think it really matters. Okay, continue. Set this to your time zone. Make sure you do use entire disk. Do that. Yeah, do that. If you really want it, you can put /home on a different partition, but I'm not going to show you how to do that. Finish don't let this scare you. Just do finish partitioning and write changes to disk. Yes. And then let it do its thing. This might take a while, so. Okay. You should now have the option. Interesting. No, we do not have any additional. Make sure to set this to your country. I don't really think it matters, but I like to keep it as the official one. Nope, don't do that. Okay. Make sure you click no. Okay, so this is very important. You're going to want to uncheck Debian desktop environment, and GNOME. Okay, then you're going to want to click SSH server. So you only have the SSH server and standard system utilities. That's it. Okay, so once you get here, just click continue and let it do all this. And then when you reboot, you will be greeted with this. You're just going to want to use the arrow keys, select Debian, it should be already selected, and hit enter. Alright, so once you've reached this screen, you're going to want to log in as the root account. Just type root, hit enter, and then you're going to want to put your password that you put earlier. So now, if you did all that right, you're just going to be presented with a raw shell. I'm going to use clear to clear the screen. So this is going to apply to anywhere from 30 to 50% of you that are watching this, depending on your router configuration. But I'm going to cover it anyway, just because so many of you will probably have to do this. So we're going to have to make some changes to our network configuration file. So because we're going to be doing that, and this is your first time working in a terminal, we're going to take a backup of it. So all we need to do is to make like a copy of this file as a backup so we can restore it if we need to. So to do that, we're going to do cp/etc/network/interfaces and then /etc/network/interfaces.back. So what this does is it takes the etc network interfaces file and then copies it to this path, but with the .back on it. That's pretty simple. Okay. I also like to stay pretty organized in my terminals. I don't like to have tons of junk everywhere. So we're gonna install a tool called tmux, so we can like make different windows and switch between them. So to do that, we're gonna do apt install tmux and hit enter. So what that did was it used our package manager, which is apt, to install the package tmux, which is pretty simple. So to open it up, surprise, surprise, you just type tmux. So now you'll be presented with a new shell along with a green line at the bottom with a bunch of information. You don't really need to worry about that too much. So let's say we're just like doing something in this window. So let's like ping Google. Okay. So pretty straightforward. But if you type Control B and then you press C, you'll notice that we get a new shell. And that now there are two shells at the bottom. So if we were to do something else here, like say hello, and if we do Control B and then type N, we can switch between them. So this is really helpful when you're trying to look at information and then put that information somewhere else. And also when you're running multiple servers at a time, it's really useful so you can see all the logs at once. So, we are also going to want to install another package called nettools. This is going to give us some information for our network configuration. So do the same command as before, apt install, but this time we're going to do net-tools. And then this will install nettools. So, go ahead and clear the screen again, and we're going to type two commands. First we're going to do ifconfig, and then now we're going to do netstat-nr. So if you've never looked at anything like this, this might be a bit overwhelming, but I'll guide you through it. So now let's go to our next window with Control B and then type N. And we're going to do, so we want to edit our network configuration file. So we're going to do nano, which is our text editor, /etc/network/interfaces. So now you're going to get here. Don't worry about all the stuff on the bottom yet, it'll all make sense. So you're just going to want to use your arrow keys and navigate around and get over here to where it says the primary network interface. This will probably say ETH0 for you. It doesn't say ETH0 for me because I'm on a virtual machine, but this is going to say ETH0. If it says like W1P and then some other string of numbers or something similar, you you need to get off Wi-Fi and you need to start using Ethernet because Wi-Fi is not suitable for running servers. It's good for everyday use, but for servers, it's a big no-no. So make sure and grab an Ethernet cable and plug it in so you can use Ethernet instead, which is better. Anyway, so where it says iFaith ETH0 blah blah blah, you're gonna want to change DHCP to static. Okay. Then we're going to hit enter to the next line and do 4 spaces. So now we're going to want to go back over to where our info was, Control B, then type in. So up here where it says ENPO0S3, then flags, and under that it says INET 192.168.1.154. So that's our address that we want to set. So we're going to want to go down and we're going to do address and then that number. It will probably look similar to this. So now we're going to want to put in our gateway, which you can find under netstat where it says gateway in 192.168.1.1. That's probably what it's going to be for you. Okay. Go back. Where it says destination and then 192.168.1.0, we're going to want to put that as network. Oh. Network. Okay. And then under genmask, we're going to want to put that 255 number as netmask. Okay. So that's all we need to do here. So to save the file, we do Control X, where it says save modified buffer, hit yes, and then enter. So then that's going to take us out of Nano. So now we're just back in our terminal. But if we were to run the same command again, you will see all the stuff we did is still there. So, as you can tell, it's still working. So we did it right. So you don't want to be running your servers as the root account. That's fundamentally insecure, okay? Because if someone could get access to your root account or run something as it, then they can do anything to your system, and that wouldn't be a very good day for you. So instead, we're going to install something called sudo, which allows you to run stuff as root from a normal account, and you have to have that account's password, if that makes sense. So, to do that, we're just going to do apt install, guess what we're going to type, sudo, and let it do its thing. So, see, now we have a bunch of other stuff. So you're going to want to add your user to the sudoers group. So to do that, we're just going to do add user, and then our name, which is tutorial, to sudo. So now, if we do su tutorial, and then we do, now, we just have to put in our password. And see, we can run things as root. So now if we go back to our root account, see, it all works fine. So now you're going to reboot, and I will show how to set up SSH. You can control this computer from another computer. Alright, now that you've rebooted your machine, there are a few things that you're going to want to do to get ready to be able to control this using SSH from a different computer. So you're just going to want to log into your normal account. In my case, that's tutorial. Don't log in as root. Might have typed it wrong. Yeah, I think I did. Okay, so now that you're in here, we are going to want to do sudo nano /etc /sshd config. Okay. I really cannot type my password today. Okay, so now that you're in here, you're gonna want to go down. Where is it? Where it says permit root login. Uncomment that. And do no. I also recommend where it says max auth tries, change that to like 3. And max sessions to like, I don't know, 3 too. That will make the bots take longer to scan your IP. But we'll do something else about that, so don't worry too much about it. So now, yes, do that. Clear the screen, do sudo systemctl reload sshd. So that should reload it. Now we are going to want to install a package, so do sudo apt install fail to ban. This will help cut down on the bots. So let it install. We will also need to install rsyslog. Okay, so now if we go sudo systemctl status failed to ban, you will see that it failed, but we don't want that. The rsyslog thing should fix that, so we just do enable and then start. Okay, now see, it's working well. So this will automatically ban all the bots that try to brute force your passwords. So that's why we disabled root login, since that's an easy target, since they know that root is an account on every single system. So that should take care of that pretty quickly. There is some more advanced configuration you can do there, but that should keep most of the bots out. So now you're just going to want to set this computer, home server, VPS, whatever aside, and go to your normal desktop, and I will see you there. Alright, so now that you are on your main computer, you're just going to want to open up a terminal. If you're on Windows, this will be a command prompt. If you're on Linux, you know how to do this. So what we're going to want to do is in our terminal, we're going to want to type SSH and then our username, so in my case that's tutorial, @ and then the IP address. For me, it's this, but that will change based on if it's on your home net. Well, this will change in your situation, okay? So it's going to say the authenticity, blah, 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 can't be established. It's fine, you set it up. And then it's going to ask you for your passwords, then put in your password. So now we are remotely logged into our Debian server while using our normal computers. This is going to be very useful for when you're setting up your server. Alright, so now that you're SSH'd in, we're going to install Java so we can actually run our servers. I don't install conventional OpenJDK just because it's slow, and GraalVM runs so much better, so I'm going to show you how to do that now. So we want to open your browser, go to GraalVM, downloads, choose the latest long-term support. As of right now, this is Java 21. I think the next LTS will be Java 25, might be wrong, Linux x64. Then instead of clicking download, you want to do copy link address, go back to your terminal, and you're going to do wget, and then this link. So all this does is just gets the contents of that and saves it. So it's done. So what we can do to unzip this is we can do tar-xzf, and then you can just tab complete that. Hit enter, let it do its thing. So now that it's save that, we can do sudo move. Wait, let's do ls first. So we have two files here. We have the extracted and then the not extracted. Don't play with the not extracted. Play with this. So we're going to do sudo move growl vm jdk21. Hold on. JDK 21.0. Yeah. And then we're going to want to move that to /opt/growl vm. Okay. So it's moved there. So now this is a bit of a complicated command. Make sure you get it right. You're going to want to do echo. You're going to do this thing. Export path equals /opt/growl vm/bin. And then that, the dollar's path, I think this is right. And then your bash rc. And then if we do source, so now if we do, so as you can see that we are now running Java on our system, we are ready to begin server setup. Alright, so now we are ready to start setting up our actual server. So I'm going to open up a tmux window. I'm going to make 3 panes. Oh. So now we have 3, as you can see on the bottom. Since we are technically going to be running 3 servers inside of a server, if that makes sense, we're going to have a proxy, an auth server, and a main server. The auth server is for authentication, so that way you can have your player connect, go to the auth server to enter their password, then get sent to the main server. If you want to do like a mini-game server, the auth server can also be your lobby, and then you can have more servers than just the 3 I'm doing here. But you must have a proxy. The auth server you can morph into different shapes though, okay? But you have to have it. So I'm gonna go ahead and make a directory with make_dir, or I'm gonna call it proxy, and then we can go into that with cd proxy. So now we're in there. So we're gonna want to get some proxy software called Velocity. So go to papermc.io, downloads Velocity, hit Build Explorer, and then go down to Velocity. Then where it says download, you're gonna copy link, and then you're gonna want to do wget and paste that. Okay, so it's gonna download it to your machine. And I like to stay organized, so I'm going to do move velocity to just velocity.jar, right? As that makes more sense. Just helps stays clean. So now we want to go to flags.sh in our browser, okay? You're going to want to change iCars flags to velocity and waterfall, change your file name to whatever your file name is. Make sure it's set to Linux and Mac. I put mine as 512 megs. Make sure you leave out the no GUI as you're on Linux. Just because it's a proxy and it doesn't mean all that much. So we're going to want to make a start.sh. So to do that, we can just do nano start.sh. Oh. Okay. And now we're going to want to paste that in. Oh no, it's Shift Control V. Yeah. I messed up. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and change the first 512 meg to 128 so it doesn't need to use more than it needs to. Just hit Control X, yes, enter, and then that will save it. So to actually make our file executable, we need to do chmod +x start.sh, and that will make it executable. Now we can just do /start.sh, and it will start our proxy for us. So as you can see, it is now running. So it says listening on blah 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 25565. So if we add a server and then we do our local IP, or if you're hosting this in the cloud, this will just be the IP of your server. So that's it for us. And see, it says a velocity server. Okay. So it's pinging and it's up. But if we try to join it, it will give us this error. And we should be able to see that in console. So that means that we need to stop that, and we want to nano our velocity.toml. So you can change your MOTD here. Don't change config version. You can change the port if you really want to. But what's important here is we want to change online mode from true to false. And then force key authentication to also false. We will also want to set player info forwarding mode to bungee guard. If you're getting weird errors while setting this up, changes back to none, but I'll show you how to configure bungee guard later. Make sure that's disabled. I recommend you do this. I'm not one who grabs people's IPs, so I always just do that. All this stuff I'm not really going to go into. You don't really need to know what this stuff is, but if you want to look into it, you can. Okay. So, we're just going to Control X, Y, Enter. So now, if we do this again, you will see the proxy is running in offline mode. This is a security risk, and you will not receive any support. Okay. So you're not going to get support from the paper team if you try to do this. So if we now join, it will say unable to connect you to lobby, please try again later. So, and then we get this error here. So if we stop this and we nano back in here, if you were paying attention, you would see that we have the servers tab here. So this is where we're going to put all of our backend servers. Okay? So basically, this is probably how I'm going to set this up is it's going to be auth, and then this is going to be main. You could have it like this, like it's set up here. You just need to change the addresses. But the lobby server would also have to double as an auth server. I will show you how to set that up here in a bit. So yeah, that's why it's not working. So you may ask, how do we enable Eaglercraft support? So there's a plugin for that. You're just going to go here and you're going to search Eaglercraft builds. Okay, and then go here. Also, look, there's my other tutorial. You're going to want to go to this link where it's linked. And you're going to go to EaglerX velocity. You can probably figure out what this does. You're going to want to copy that. And this time we're going to want to cd into our plugins folder, and then we're going to wget it like before. And then that will download it. Of course, I'm going to move this to Eaglerx velocity.jar. And then we can do back if we do cd minus. Okay? And then we redo it. You will see that we get some new data. You could pretty much ignore this, as there's really no reason to be running the exact version that it tells you to run. Also, some additional plugins that we will want to install here on the proxy, so go ahead and stop. You're going to want to search up Skins Restorer. Go down to the GitHub, don't use SpigotMC. You're just going to want to copy link, cd plugins, and then wget that. It already has a good name, so we don't need to do anything else. We will also need to search up nlogin. Okay, this is a login plugin. So, hold on. Yes, so you're just going to want to go down to where it says nlogin, the plugin, copy link, and then wget that. Okay, I think if we to nlogin.jar and start it, it should load nlogin. Yep. So it'll do its thing. So as you can see, it's starting. It takes a while. So now we've got all this more stuff. So what skins restore does is on normal cracked servers you don't have skins. So this basically allows you to get skins back. And nlogin is a very good authentication plugin that so if people can't hack your account, and we will get more into that later when we set up our backend servers. Alright, so I'm recording this a few days later. We're gonna continue, so you're gonna want to make a, well, if we do ls first, we just have our proxies, so we're gonna want to make dir auth and make dir main. So that's gonna make two folders called auth and main. As you can see, we now have three folders. So we're gonna set up both. We do the auth first is just cd into auth. Then we're gonna go back to the papermc downloads page. This is where you need to make a decision. I'm going with 1.12.2 because a lot of the exploit preventing plugins I have support this version and don't support lower than this. If you're making a PvP server, go with 1.8. If you're doing like an SMP, do 1.12.2, and then do some stuff to restore 1.8 PvP if you want that and other 1.8 mechanics. But this has a ton of bug fixes over 1.8, so I recommend it if you're doing like an SMP or something. So you're going to want to copy this link address, and then we're just going to want to wget that. And you do have to see that. So we do move that in this paper.jar, nice and clear. You will see that when we try to run this, it's going to crash. So it says server properties does not exist, generating new properties, failed to load YOLO.txt. If we nano our server.properties, oh, it didn't actually generate them yet. Never mind. So if we nano YOLO.txt, you want to change YOLO to true. So now it will run. Oh, didn't make that yet. As you can see, it's starting up and it's going. So you're gonna want to immediately stop this. You're gonna nano server.properties. You're gonna want to change server port. If you are on a server, changes to the auth server assign port. If you're on a free machine like me, change like 25566 or something. You're also going to want to change network compression threshold to -1 since you won't be needing that in the same network. Online mode false. Run the same command. No, start up. So now if we, that's our auth server. Okay. As you can see, it's not really fully functional yet because this is supposed to be an auth server. So we're gonna wanna get some good flags. We're gonna nano start.sh. Go to our flags.sh. I'm gonna do like a gig of RAM because this is 1.12. Copy this command, paste. Go back to the beginning. Do this to 128, so use more than need to. Mark it as executable, and then run that. So now it's running with better flags. You're not really going to notice that though. So we're going to stop. We are going to edit our spigot.yml. You are going to want to change bungee cord to true. You will see why in a moment. If I remember correctly, Yeah, view distance. Set this to like something absurdly low, because it's an auth server. I'm gonna set it to like 3 or something. Overall, just go through here and like change all the settings down, or like Google like how to optimize paper server and follow all that, since you want your auth server to use like next to no CPU. Okay. You're also gonna need a few plugins. Search via version. Go on GitHub, because GitHub is the goat. Download. Wait, no, don't download. Copy. And you're going to cd plugins wget this via version jar. Well, I guess it's plugins. It doesn't matter. Via backwards. Copy that. Same thing. Via rewind. This is the most important one. wget this. And finally, via rewind legacy support. So, I think the latest is actually on Hangar. Here. Copy. Okay, so this essentially allows 1.8 players to go on a 1.12 server. I'm using VI Fabric Plus to do this from newer versions, but of course most aren't going to have that. So, now what we're going to need to do is we're going to want to go to search up nlogin again, or you could just copy it from your proxy folder, I guess. Why does it bring me to the docs? And login, copy link. Paste that in there. We move. Okay. Now I think we do this, it should generate all this stuff for us. Yeah. As we can see, we got a lot more stuff. It's gonna scream at us for using 1.12, but it doesn't matter. We're also gonna want to we have to do this all of this stuff on aside from and login on the main server too. Bungee guard plus. Copy link. Okay. While I'm at this, I'll just open up a tmux. Yeah. You'll see one in a minute. So, okay, so if we cd into our proxy, we nano forwarding.secrets, this is very important, okay? This is what's going to prevent people from trying to log into our server. So, we stop this and then nano bungee, wait, cd plugins / bungee guard / config.yml. And you're going to want to paste your thing in here to the allowed tokens. Make sure it's the only allowed token. You're going to want to change this to like something else. You could set it to like the message when you try to join a premium server with a cracked account, for example. Just to throw people off. I'm sure there's ways they can probably see it, what it really is, though. So, you will see that when we try to join, it's going to scream at us. So, essentially, we need to hook this to our proxy, okay? So we're gonna wanna nano, wait, no, it's not server.properties, velocity.toml. So this is the point at which you change this stuff. So, well, let's do main and auth. So, change this to your port 25566, 25567 might be different for you. Make sure this is set to auth. I don't think force host really matters. I would just set is auth. Yeah, I think that's all that matters. Okay, so now if we start up our proxy, wait, I might need to plugin / login cd plugins ls. Oh, Linux moment. Okay, wait, I cannot think today. I don't think there's anything to change in here. It's just been a long time since I did this. Okay, this is muy importante. Gonna want to change auth servers to auth, obviously. Make sure this is on. Enable true. Servers. This is probably only one server for you. Main. Is that essentially says you have to forward the player to this server after this server. I really cannot think today. Okay. So now we have our auth and our proxy. So if we join, oh, we will just need to re-add the server as your local IP. See this? So now it's telling us to register. I recommend that you come back in this once we've set up our main server and make this like an empty void or something. So unable to connect to domain, please try again later. Wonder why. So, one other thing I forgot is to nano your server.properties. If your backend servers are on the same machine as your proxy, you're going to want to do this very important step. This will prevent people from finding your backend servers. You just want to change server IP to 127.0.0.1. So, you will see our proxy's still pinging. But if we put in 154.255.66, this is our auth server, it's not going to do anything. But when we join this, we can still join the auth server, we can't join it directly. Like, it doesn't even... well, nothing happens. So, that's very important. That'll prevent lots of problems. Okay, so... what else should we do? We need to make a new panel. Oh. That was accidental. Let's not do that. Control B and Control B C. Okay. CD main. We're gonna want to grab the exact same jar file. Copy link address. Yeah. then move paper.jar. I will probably let's copy start.sh to /smp start.sh. Oh, it's main. Okay. CP. I think that's how you copy. I think you can copy a directory with this. Plugins to /main/plugins. Oh. Okay. Wait, no. That's main. Auth proxy main. Okay. Okay. So now we just have our plugins and our start.sh. And we are going to want to go into the plugins and remove and login.jar. Since we don't need that on our main server. Again, it's going to do the same thing with the YOLA. Failed to buy. Oh. This is why you do this. Let's do our usual 127.0.0.1 thing. 24567 this time around. That looks good. Okay, what did it do? Basic troubleshooting here. Oh, we need to nano spigot.yml. We need to set bungee cord to true. That should fix that. Good reminder to read your logs before you panic. In this case, it was just a stupid... Well, me being stupid, that's really what it was. Okay. So now, if we connect... Unable to... Oh, I need to start the auth server. I do recommend that you give more RAM to your main server. Let's log in demo video. Unable to connect you to main. Please try again later. Lost connection, disconnected. Oh, online modes. Of course, okay. Yeah, wait. That makes sense. Make sure to double check stuff. Okay, here we are. This is our main server. Let's go through that again. Let's log in, demo video. See? Nice and smooth. As you can tell, this is a pretty boring world with not much going on. With pretty much the bare essentials. If this is like a server for you and your friends, I highly recommend turning on a whitelist on both servers, and you can pretty much just leave it here and just play with your friends. But if you want to make a bigger server, there's some additional steps you're gonna have to do. I will show how you to do a whitelist though. So, you're gonna wanna op yourself. So me, it's op project March. So now I have op and I can basically do whatever I want. So to turn on a whitelist, well, first you're gonna want to do add like yourself, and then whitelist add, and then like other accounts, right? And then you're gonna do whitelist on. to do this on your auth server too, so nobody can register, you're going to want to do server auth, and this will bring you here, and then you just, oh, I'm not opt on this. Once you do this, de-op yourself on the auth server, as anyone can gain access to it, as you, even if they don't have operator. So whitelist on / de-op project March. Okay. And if we go back, see? So if we were to go on like some random account, well, that's probably too long. I guess that's too long too. Okay. Oh, why did I go on Eaglercraft? Okay. See, it says you're not whitelisted on this server. Okay. Alright. So yeah, if you're not doing that, turn off your whitelist. So, I'm assuming you're running a bigger server now if you're still watching this video. So, we are gonna want to add some stuff. Let's add stuff to the proxy first. It's gonna disconnect me. One thing I think you should add is an Antibot called Sonar. It pretty much does what you think it does. This is pretty important. And then just wget that. And this might work out of the box, I'm not sure. Might have to configure it. Okay. So now it's gonna do that. Give it a second. Yeah, and now it lets you in. Make sure to change all the messages, because no one wants to say the name of the Antibot you use pretty clearly. So yeah, make sure you change that. Now we're gonna do some more backend server stuff. Hold on. Auth proxy. Okay. So you're gonna wanna search up EssentialsX. Downloads, you know, do the standard thing. And you're gonna wget that. You'll need to update this regularly. If you're doing like a survival server or something, you're gonna want to use EssentialsX, but I'm not gonna install that for now, but you're probably gonna want to do that. What else? Recommend Worldedit. Hold on, Worldedit plugin. Okay. Worldedit for bucket. I'm running 1.12.2. Oh, never mind. Wait. Copy link address. Wget this. If you're doing survival, you're also gonna want WorldGuard. I'm not gonna show you how to use that. So yeah, take that into account. It essentially allows you to like make protected areas where you can't like modify. Oh, I think I shut down the proxy. Okay. Same standard thing. But you'll now see that we have some new stuff going on. So do //1, we get like this one thing. You can select 2 positions, and then you can do like set, I don't know, dirt. You can select cobblestone, you can set water, you can set lava, you can set obsidian. Yeah. You can also do / expand word. You can do / replace air TNT or something like that. No, I'm not going to explode this in the middle of the video. / replace TNT air / replace stone water. See? This might lag the server just crap. Yeah, you can pretty much do anything that you want. Okay. Lava. That was probably not a good idea. Air. Oh no. I guess this is why you don't. Okay. Basically, don't be stupid with using this like I'm being stupid. Now the TPS is like 0. Guess we just gotta wait this out. If you need to kill your server, which I'll probably do right now, you just do Control-C. Make sure. Yeah, so there's no memory leak. Make sure there's no memory leak. It's gonna kick you back. Okay. As you can see, it did not save. Anyway. Next, so this Essentials just has this bunch of essentials. It's really nice to have. It does a lot of things well. Does what it's supposed to do. Yeah. Next, I'm going to show you LuckPerms. LuckPerms is cool too. So search LuckPerms. wget. Oh wait, move luck. Okay, clear. So this will allow you to assign permissions to a group. Okay. So if we do /lp editor, open this. It's going to tell you to run a command, run it. Okay. You're only going to have one thing by default. So if you want to make like owner rank, set the weight to something, I don't know, like 10. Prefix you can do like owner. That sounds so stupid. Parent, make sure that's set to the next rank down, add group. And I do like LP user. Oh. I actually have to hit save. I'm so smart. So if you have a chat plugin installed, like EssentialsX chat, your thing will show. Well, I don't. So it doesn't show for me. I'll probably need to generate a new link now. I thought I just did this. Okay. If you want to add like basic permissions to your normal group, you want to do bucket command.help tps. Essentials, this is probably more important stuff. You're gonna want to do msg essentials.r or essentials.reply. That's like messaging stuff. Essentials dot if you're on like an SMP and you want TPA and TPR, make sure you do TPA. Essentials.tpa accept. Essentials.tpr. Essentials.home. Wait, no. Essentials.setHome. .delhome. There's probably other permissions you're gonna want to add to that. Oh crap. Do I have to do that again? Okay. I'm really have a brain fart today. Essentials.tpa, essentials.tpr, essentials.r, essentials, what else? The tpa accept, essentials, .tp deny. .home. .sethome. .delhome. Okay, now you actually click the big plus button that I failed to do. Okay, so now it's gonna do that. So, well, I guess I could go on the Bedrock account. Thought I was, huh? Yeah, Bedrock. I'm not whitelisted. Whatever. You get the idea. I guess. All this just to test something. Okay, let's go back. Don't set your name as your password, okay? That's interesting. Anyway, so now I can like do that. Oh no. Oh, okay. /TPR. Why is that not working? I don't know. I think y'all get the idea of basic permissions. /r/homes home /sethome/home, right? Delhome home. Okay, it's pretty straightforward. What else? I think I might do a little bit on anarchy exploit fixes. As otherwise there's gonna be trolls that come crash your server. That will just start doing this and start loading tons of chunks until your server dies. I'll probably also do a little thing on it. Oh, I died. Okay. Do on it, little thing on Anticheat too. So let's start with Anticheat. If you're just doing like a de facto SMP, you can't really do much better than no cheat plus updated. I'll tell you why. Most people would say, oh, just use Grim or Vulkan. Just no. The reason I don't like those anti-cheats is because they are developed for PvP servers. They are not really, even though they might be used on SMP servers, they're not really made for them, and they false flag a lot. No Cheat Plus was not really made for PvP servers. Download Jenkins. And it doesn't really false It does what it's supposed to do, and it does an auto ban if you don't want it to auto ban. So let's go in here. This should work out of the box. You really don't need to configure it. Aw, crap. Yeah, you're gonna want to copy that. Not the friggin' index.html. Okay. Don't even need to do that. So now, we'll see that if this loaded right, it's not going to let me fly, and it's just going to kick me. Again, change the messages, so it doesn't really betray what anti-cheat you're using. As you can see, that doesn't work. If I try to use bhop, that doesn't work. Yeah. So, obviously, it's not going to prevent every single hack in existence. That's impossible. But it should do a decent job of keeping the majority of cheaters off your server. Okay, so, enough of that. So now we're gonna use anarchy exploit fixes. So we're gonna search up packet events, that's a dependency. Do the usual. Spigot, make sure you choose Spigot. Oh, wait, no. CD plugins. What am I doing? I just cannot think straight today. I said it like a zillion times, I'm gonna say it again. Make sure you get for legacy servers. Copy. This is one where when you're gonna want to do some immediate configuration. Should out install this on a whim. See, it's running AF. So, gonna nano config no. This is pretty important. Okay. I recommend you disable auto language. Simply because then the messages aren't clear. If you want to set other connection MSGs, I'll show you how. Most of this stuff is really optional. I highly recommend command whitelist. Because it will prevent people from like finding your plugins and remove all the things that you don't need. So that means removing most of this if you're not making like an anarchy server. So yeah. Make sure that's true. Elytra speed. You're going to want. This is gonna depend on your specific purpose. I just recommend new chunks as like 2 and old chunks as like 3.5. Bursting, that's really up to you. I'd recommend you change the new chunk speed down though. I'm just gonna go through this. I'm not gonna yap too much about what I'm doing. Well, yeah, about this one, make sure villager limit is on, because villagers can cause a ton of lag. If you're having issues with any of these, tweak the values a bit. Don't be afraid to do that. This is very important. Make sure that redstone is enabled, otherwise people can use it to lag the crap out of your server. I don't recommend NST age limits. Don't recommend disable entity spawns. Don't keep stash chunks loaded if you're not doing an anarchy server. Alright. For a typical server, you can pretty much leave illegals alone. As it's not really needed. But if you get problems with illegals, don't be afraid to change some of these falses to trues. Recommend anti-bed trap if you're on an SMP. Alright, I'm pretty sure the rest of this isn't too important. Okay. Okay. So, yeah. You will want to change messages, though. nano, what is it? Plugin slash lang slash nus.yml. Yeah, change this as you want. It's really up to you. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. That's how you get a base server set up on Linux. Pretty much past here is whatever you want to make it. If you want to do something, then just Google how to accomplish that, like with what plugins you can accomplish that, and go through it, and yeah. Alright, so our final step is to actually make our server accessible from Eaglercraft, and that's going to look different depending on your situation. If you have like a home server or something, or you're renting a VPS or dedicated server, it's going to be pretty simple. If you're doing like a shared host, it's a bit more complicated. You'll need to do some extra steps. So I'm just going to use this to show our the path of how to do things. You're also going to need a domain, and make sure you get that domain with Cloudflare, because it has some stuff that you will need to actually make this to work that others don't. So if you have like then you're just gonna want to set Eaglerx velocity port to 80, and then domain a record public IP proxied on. Okay, so I'm gonna show you how to change that port now. So if we nano plugin slash Eaglerx velocity slash listeners.yml, this address it's set to 8081, change that to 80. And make sure your firewall is open for that. If you're doing this on like a shared host, it's a bit more complicated. So you are going to need to create like an open port in your host panel. So then you're gonna want to set, well, let's make open port in panel. Okay. And then you're going to want to set Eaglerx velocity port to open port. So this is the port that you just made. You're going to want to set that port. So if you were doing this, it'd be like some random number, like 8, yeah, something random. Then you are going to need another computer. Okay, this could be a Raspberry Pi. This could be an old computer. It can be literally anything. You're going to want to install Debian on that, and install nginx. Okay, and then you're gonna want to paste configuration files from the description, which I will put in the description. And you're going to want to change those config files for your server's IP and port. And then you are going to want to do this, except for your public IP, so your house's IP or something. If you're doing the proxying on an old laptop. So then what will happen is people will connect to your domain, it will go through your house, and that will proxy it to this open port on your server host, if that makes sense. Okay, this one is a bit complicated. I don't expect you to really understand it at first, so if you need help, don't hesitate to like DM me on Discord or something. Yeah, that's pretty much it for this tutorial. If you got questions, concerns, confused, DM me or join No be your Eaglercraft Discord. I'll leave all those links in the description. Hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to send it to people that you think would benefit from it. Yeah.